Us on the track. You on the track. us on the track. You 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 on the track.
brothers and sisters in Islam, if the sun wants to play the role of the moon, and the moon wants to play the role of the sun, what happens? You have an eclipse. You have an eclipse. Either a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. What happens when the eclipse happens? The effect of the sun is weakened. The effect of the moon is weakened. And the stars are nowhere to be seen. In the home, when the father wants to be the mother, and the mother wants to be the father, you know what happens? You have an eclipse. It's called a social eclipse. And when this happens, the effect of the father is not felt, the effect of the mother isn't felt, and the children suffer the most.
What up, though?
Mute.
What's up?
All right now, it's Tuesday. Okay. P.
You already know.
Conscious parenting.
Already.
Let's go.
How y'all doing out there? What is
How
popping?
you doing, husband?
No. You see me?
How are you?
You see me? He said
looking
she's
good.
set up.
Mm-hmm. You're nice. I'm tangled. Don't touch my hair.
Shout out to T-shirts by Nikki 40 Dripsky, one of my favorite designers.
Thank you.
You know I'm a Ralph Lauren guy, but
I know.
he kind of took over that #1 spot.
Yes.
So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
What's going on out there? It's Tuesday.
It is.
Promote conscious parenting.
Welcome,
we
everybody.
are
Welcome.
the Harrises Unbreakable. We're going to have to cut that part out. They're going to strike the shit out of us.
Who y'all think y'all
that is? They're going to say, nope. Take that out. So that's why, I had to throw the other intro in there. But we appreciate y'all pulling up and pulling in. It's Tuesday. Yes. We got a fun one for you. You see, it's a Q&A. Q&A. You got questions? We got answers. But here's the thing. We've had Q&As in the past.
Oh, please.
We've got very minimal questions. So we got questions for y'all.
Shoot.
We got questions for y'all.
Questions are good.
So all of it is geared around conscious parenting, of course. And let's go ahead and get to the pleasantries and
welcome
get
everybody.
To the amazing people in the building.
Appreciate y'all.
And Oz is
now,
first
welcome.
in. What up, sis? What's going? Hope all is well. Moderation again. Peace, God.
Welcome.
Bronze, Flats, Power God in the building. Hope you are having a easy fast, brother. Everybody that is celebrating, I hope you are having an easy fast. So far, so good. Take heed to the message. Our sister.
Welcome.
Hey, sis.
Hope you're
doing well. Hope you had a good Tuesday. I know you're about to blast off with Black Man Unfiltered in a minute. Y'all always got something cooking. So we appreciate you being here. If you got a question, drop it in the chat. If y'all got a question, we're going to give you an opportunity to cam on up and ask a question or drop it in the chat. If it is, about conscious parenting, that would be admirable. If it's about anything else, that's acceptable. So feel free. Let us know what you want to do. If you want to cam up, just put cam up in the chat.
Cam up.
And if you want to drop your question, you can just drop a question in there. And like I said, if you guys don't have any questions, we have some for you.
You done put something together.
And not only questions, but I have our Promote Conscious Parenting Facebook page.
Yes.
That page has
abundance
2,000 followers right now. Or so.
Shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all.
And it gets a little popping in there. So yeah, shout out to the Facebook page, not the group page. Don't get it confused with the group page. It is Promote Conscious Parenting on Facebook. So I'm gonna share that page, and I got a couple of things on there that I want to share with you guys in regards to conscious parenting. maybe some what would you do's and what do you thinks, and we're gonna start it off with an amazing conscious parent, in my opinion.
Okay.
Of course.
Sometimes you got to do it like this.
And like I said, I got some questions, for you guys as well. But I want to share a screen. Started off with an icebreaker video, and I want to know what you guys think about conscious parenting in regards to this video clip that I'm gonna play. Thank you, Mrs., for getting the whiskers out the way.
Long.
Let's do it.
So with these kids.
Oh, okay. Really? That was breakfast. Seriously? You can't even close it. Look at this. Can't even throw stuff away. Butter left out. Milk cartons. This is just ridiculous. You know what? I got something for them. All right. Okay.
Oh man, thank God you cooking. I didn't have no type of food.
Oh, well, this is not for you or your brothers. This is...
Wait, what you mean? Usually you cook enough for everybody.
Well, I'm not doing it today. It's just for me
Why
and
not?
today.
I'm starving.
Did you notice your kitchen? It's clean.
I was very busy.
Yep.
Friends came over.
Yep. Well, you should have told your friends to help you clean the mess.
I had to work out. The gym was going to close. The gym was going to close.
No, it wasn't.
I was just going to do it when I came back.
I don't care. I don't care. You don't care. I don't care.
What do you guys think so far? What do you think so far? You don't care. I don't care.
A lot of excuses. A lot of excuses,
I hear 'em.
And some people will not accept them. You can have all the excuses in the world. I do not have to accept that this is your behavior. No.
I hear you. I hear you.
I don't care. You
Do
don't
you
care.
think this is conscious parenting? Would you handle it the same way, something a little different? How would that
to this
go
degree, yeah, because I can
Yeah.
see her having a proactive home, right? Because there's rules, clean up behind yourself. You're grown. Like, these are things that you should know already.
Absolutely.
So because you have such a busy schedule and, this, that, and that, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Some standards in this house, and it needs to be respected, or you can go get your own space and take care of your own self.
Damn.
Shit, food expensive
I hear
for
you.
grown kids.
I hear you. But that's a man. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this man give all of these excuses and reasons why his friends came over. Like, again, real friends help each other.
Middle school.
Real friends don't leave. Like, wait, we leaving?
Yeah,
and your mom's gonna be happy with this kitchen looking like this and we leaving?
That was a
like,
no.
yo, we out here?
Yeah, no. Your friends will never be able to come back over.
That's, I think the consciousness, this is what conscious parenting looks like. You're not gonna always get treated like no damn baby.
Right. And this ain't being a sucker either to your children. I think a lot of parents today are kind of wimps. Our parents was tough, and even once we got bigger, as far as size went, their law was the law. The standard that they kept in their house was what it was, and you need to respect it. And if you don't, you can go find your own space.
I heard you say that before. There you go. She said it again.
Is.
She said it again. But again, this is why we here, though, for the conscious parenting to have more tools than just saying get out.
Get out, right.
We got to be able to do more than just that.
And I think you don't want them out, but that's the reality of it. If you're going to live here, you have to abide by rules, regardless of if you're an adult or not.
I hear you. I hear you.
But mom kind of handled this cool. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to get it all together.
Shout out to Blaze on the check-in. Hope all is well.
Welcome.
Peace and abundance to the family, to the Mars, the chat. Hope everyone is in good spirits tonight. Listening in. We appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
Shauna Green is here.
Hey, welcome.
She is showing him the right way. Have respect for yourself and you'll get respect.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't waste no $30 salmon though. We no, don't do that.
I told you,
I did care.
warned y'all. I said I don't cook in a dirty kitchen. You knew when I got home that I was going to cook. And this kitchen was an absolute mess, a ridiculous mess. And one of y'all made my salmon. Who made my salmon?
I can't tell you that. I don't know.
I know you can't. Everybody never does it, right? It's not you. It's not your brother. But
Damn, and the no snitching code is in effect
I mean,
in the house.
can't act like we don't know. I don't know. Everybody had T-shirts. I said, I don't know. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't me.
It's never anybody on the panel. It's never the people in the chat. It's never us. Shout out to Donique on the check and hope all is well.
I think we got something headed your way.
Definitely headed your way. Man.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much, man. You have no idea. Shout out to you. He said, great day. Blessings to the Mr. and the Mrs. Chat.
Party and
all tuned. Appreciate you, bro. We just going over a Q&A today. If you got any questions, drop them in the chat. Conscious parenting oriented or otherwise, they all will be entertained. And we have a couple of scenarios to reflect on. And I got some questions for you guys in the chat as well. But we having this icebreaker right now.
Who has that rule in their house though? I don't cook in no dirty kitchen. We don't cook in no dirty kitchen. I don't care what time. If you know I'm what time mommy gets ready to start getting it together. Yeah, I should not have to say get the kitchen cleaned up. You know, especially if we clean up behind ourselves, then that would leave less mess.
I'm the same way with my young adults.
Young adults.
Yes, indeed.
That's
they have to understand.
I like the way she articulated that. Not babies, not even children.
Young adults.
And even when you think about it, the little 6-year-olds, they'll be adults one day. They need to respect that. If you're blessed to, you know, get to adulthood, there's a way you got to move. And they need to understand that.
I agree.
Good job.
guess what? You owe me $100.
$100.
That's right, $100.
$100?
$100
for one time the kitchen wasn't clean.
One time. See, I warned y'all last time. Remember we had the family meeting? And I warned you that if you don't do your chores, I'm gonna charge you rent.
2-3 times $100 is crazy.
Young adults, okay? It's $100 now, and if I come home again, it's gonna be $200.
I like her. She used the same term. She said, "You guys are young adults."
Listen.
It's consequences for your behavior.
Especially when you live in rent-free. Chores still exist. I don't care how your workload is.
And it looked like this in there? Come on.
Look
now.
At the beautiful. This is beautiful.
Yeah, y'all.
Come on now. Look at how she getting down right now. So you can imagine the spread she laid down.
Been to Paris.
You know.
You see that apron right there? She been to Paris.
Living in a rent-free establishment. Hold up.
Okay, it's $100 now, and if I come home again, it's gonna be $200. If I come home again after that, it's gonna be $300.
So I have to pay $100, and I don't get no food.
You can get some food. You can take your money and go buy yourself some food, because when you don't care, I don't care. I don't mind feeding y'all. I really don't. But when y'all don't handle y'all chores, I don't ask for much. You don't pay no rent. You get free food around here, and you're not gonna do your chores. Well, guess what? When you don't do your chores, you're not getting any benefits around here. You can forget about it.
Well, just please forget this one time, because I'm starving.
I forgave you the last time, and the last time before that. Remember, and then the last time before that. Okay, time is up, and I warned you last time. It's not like I didn't give you a warning. I gave you a warning.
Come on, Mom, just one bite.
No, I'm not. You know what? Your dad already said y'all eat too much, and it's time for y'all to get y'all own place. And I'm starting to agree with him. Usually, I take up for y'all. But you know what? It's just time.
I understand that, but just tonight, I just want to eat.
You made it a no. What have I been telling y'all all your life? It's always a yes until you make it a
no.
That was a bar right there. It's always a yes until you make it a no.
I used to say that to the girl.
all your life. It's always a yes until you make it a
no.
Yeah. So you made it a no. This ain't on me. This is on you. If you would have made it a yes, guess what? You'd be getting one of these right now. You have some of this delicious salad right now. But oh no, you said no. So it's no. So keep your coat on and go back out to your car. Your car is nice and warm.
If I gotta put money in the gas tank, then you get money in the food, and it's food right here.
You might want to fast tonight. Okay, if money is a problem for you, baby, you need to fast. Because right here, this is dad's right here, baby. I'll see you later. Now.
If I give you 100 tonight, can I get a bite?
Oh, let me think about it. No.
Wow.
Still taking care of her husband too. He was on her way with that plate.
I like her because she referred to the salad as delicious. You could get some of this delicious salad.
I believe her. Shit.
I like her.
Goodness gracious. The kids, I mean, it's a different day. You know, they're very entitled and privileged, you know, and don't even realize what they have until they lose it. And for grown men to be talking like that, you usually hear women, girls who are at home like that. But to hear, you know, a young man speak like that, you know.
But you gotta love her consciousness, the way she's able to deliver the information and how he was able to finish. It's always a yes until you make it and his cadence was like, no, like she always says this. And here I go, performing up to task, making it a no. And that's the beauty of the consciousness, that when they have the information, they move different.
Yeah.
They know the consequences.
Some of it gotta be beat in. I ain't even gonna lie. Gotta be really, you know,
of course,
consistently preached at.
So, like I said, if you guys don't have any questions for us, I got some for y'all. We got some. We got some. Here are some thought-provoking questions for conscious parents.
What's going on?
Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? How about you? Well, let's see. Number 1. How do you balance setting boundaries and allowing freedom for your child to explore and grow independently?
Wow. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's hard to do. It's different stages in development.
And if you have different children, it's going to be a different approach.
If you got them stepper babies back to back, you know.
We were fortunate to have our children 5 years apart.
Yeah, it's like starting all over each time.
5 years apart. And the last one is like 10. God damn.
You know, telling your 20-year-old about to have another baby.
I mean, that's what I just said to Nana last night, right? Like, she's being raised by grandparents right now.
We grandparents.
She's not being raised by the parents, you know, typically.
Right.
She would be raised by. She's being raised by, I'll be 50.
Veteran parents.
In July. You are 47 beautiful years of age. We almost 100 years together.
We spend time watching them, and I think that's the key. That's the key to the balance. You really have to be present and conscious of your children and who they are. You learn a lot being there and being present. You know, in the first 30 days, in the first 6 months. By 6 months, like, you see so much personality in your child, you know, and you see where they're lacking or flaws and what they may need help in, and just those little things, right? You know, with holding the bottle, you see which hand is more stronger, you know. It's a lot of those things. So the development is so fast.
Okay.
And I think you know, I always talk about mothers having this honeymoon phase.
Okay. Talk about it.
Stop. You pull back. You start to pull back because everything else in life becomes a little bit more important than those babies, you know, because they're not babies no more.
Right.
You start to notice the cries, like those tantrums and things, that shit can affect you, and you might want to distance yourself as a mother. You know, I don't know about men, but women, that shit can become a stressful situation, you know, for some ladies. So getting past that is unique. But the more time you spend around your children, paying attention to them, different activities, you're going to learn who they are. And that's how you're going to be able to balance the boundaries. But you got to talk. Got to explain the world to them.
Absolutely.
It is a lot of work.
It has to be, you know, my answer to almost every question is practice. The practice is where the game time performance comes in. When you need to perform, you have to have been practicing. And the family communication, the having boundaries, having your things and them having their things. Now, they don't have complete privacy and complete, like, but there is a degree. Absolutely. Yes. There's things that they need to understand that is a part of their world, things that they are responsible for and have to maintain and look after. And I think that's where the fine line comes in, driving that home, being conscious and, you know, diligent and consistent with that creates, you know, a person that's going to continue to want to move forward and make it a habit, because again, it's been practiced. Let's see what the chat is talking about.
Hey now.
Blaze said, my apologies, Mrs. Harris, but this fool is still wearing Pampers and drinking breast milk. He's an adult living rent-free in his mother's home and doesn't see any issue with that at all.
Damn. I think these last two generations have that mentality, you know, like they deserve, you know, you owe me, like I'm supposed to be here type stuff.
Realist McCoy, what's going on?
Hey now,
Quiet Storm, welcome. Is good?
Appreciate you.
Shout out to everybody pulling up
happening.
Yes, indeed. Sweet Tab is in the building. What's good? Sis pulling in. Kiss me in the building. Family pulling in. What's popping, y'all? Hope everybody is doing well. Hope y'all had a good start to y'all week. We have a Q&A today. And if you guys don't have any questions for us, we have questions for you.
Yeah, the balance, man.
And if you would like to cam up, just put cam up in the chat and we will send you the link. Or you can just drop your question in the chat and we will answer.
Feel free.
And get ready for the questions that we got coming down the pipeline because they coming. Shout out to the Cash App from Quiet Storm. Let's go ahead and I didn't even pull Cash App up, so let's go ahead and get that done.
Give me your lash money. Give me your weave money. Give me your food money. You're spending a lot of money out here for food.
That.
She said, come on now.
All right.
Oh. He said, Blaze said, I'm not a parent, but I think the first step to creating boundaries and allowing freedom is to sit down and have a conversation with your child.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
You know, again, like you said, you don't have any children. Boundaries start along the way for new parents because you are setting the boundaries with toddlers all along the way. You know, don't touch that. You know, stay away from here. Don't go by the stairs. No. You know what I mean? All of that.
No, don't.
Oh my God. So it's a way to not create that dialogue. When that 3-year-old starts saying those back to you and know how to use it, you're gonna. It's like, what do I do? Do I pop them? But you taught them that language with the no. And so try to eliminate no. It's not about right. And
that was a great conversation, and you introduced that to me. That this is something we can't use in the development of our children. No, don't, won't. We can't use those. Like, we're gonna figure out different ways, different words, and again, this is where vocabulary is important. The want to learn more, to be better for your family. This is where it all comes in, because those little things matter. I have a lot of different words. I just don't know that this is a scenario that I shouldn't use it in. Like, that was pivotal to me. Like, yeah, don't say that shit around the baby. How about not putting those words into them? And, you know, I look at 25 years later, these children are not, you know, pessimistic. They're not no, don't, won't. They not complaining about what they got to do all the time.
Yeah.
And they stand out above amongst their peers. They stand out at work, doing tasks. They stand out. They do it right.
Yeah.
The first time. Don't have to be told again. Because they practice at home on the dishes, on the steps, on the baseboards. You do it wrong if you want to. You just gonna do it again.
Y'all had your kids clean the mop board. Y'all even know what the goddamn mop board is. Listen.
These are the things that when we practice them, they become habit and you stand out.
It works out for the children, even if they, you know, they're gonna push back, right? Because they are, it's naturally human to want that autonomy, to be independent. You know, you can't tell me what to do.
Absolutely.
But they really, when you create that dialogue, they really have to understand the world outside, because it's absolutely different from the world that they live in. The house next door, house on the other side, the house across the street, and they don't know. They don't know about alcoholism. They don't know about families of destruction. They don't, you know what I mean? They have no clue. So all of this needs to come from you. And if they're watching TV, they have a horrible illusion.
Don't laugh at me. I didn't put the shit on TV.
And, you know, to
they have a horrible depiction of society based on the views and the stories that television sends to our brains, like Batman and the Riddler when he was having all of the green shit soaked into his head, like that.
Listen,
I get it. Okay. I love you. Shout out to the Quiet Storm for the 20 ball. He said, for the love of the game. Shout out to you, man. We appreciate you.
Team.
And let's see what we got.
Look here, baby, bro. I'm a little light right now. Could you, like, let me hold some change?
Brothers and sisters, give me your grit money. Give me your weave money. Give me your perm money, your Jordan money, your Alizé money, your 40-ounce money. We need the money, brothers and sisters. How about you hit the Cash App?
Can't believe I made it. It's my first time getting money. Where's my money? It's right here. Right there. Y'all can't see me. We getting rich. Hard body youngins. We getting rich together. Yeah. We getting rich together.
Shout out to my guy Quiet Storm. We appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Shout out there. So, Mrs., I got another question for everybody pulling up and pulling in. I see Oz Blicky pulling in. Oz Blicky, what's good? My God. Talk to me. Talk to me nice. I see Nice One in the building. Nice Wiggity.
Welcome, brother.
What's good?
Rolling
It's a
ratchets.
nice wing on the check-in.
Appreciate
We love
you,
what y'all
brother.
doing. We love what you doing, bro.
Yes.
Keep bringing that information. Shout out to Rolling Ratchet. If y'all don't know, on IG, on YouTube, my guy is an amazing journalist. This is what he went to school for. This is what he do.
Yeah. Hashtag LIA. Nightbot
Everybody,
will drop the
absolutely.
link in the chat for you.
Hashtag
LIA. Put it in there.
LIA.
Support. All right.
So let's see what we
Sarah's
got.
in the building.
Sarah's here?
Yeah.
Hey,
She just
Sarah.
pulled up.
What's up, sis? Lioness is in the building. I see Sis in
Yeah,
here.
let's see Bob is in the
Tahiti's in the building. Carmen Eyes is in the building. Shout out to the Lionesses, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all know who y'all is. Y'all know how much we love y'all. Keep doing the work y'all doing.
Shout out to y'all.
AR's in the building. He said, I seen it. AR trying to sneak in up in this joint. Don't be trying to sneak around. AR starting trouble. What up, man?
Welcome.
What's poppin', man? You doing well, man. Great work you doing with the podcast. Can't wait to be a part of that. Let me go ahead and get back to these chats and see what we talking about.
Questions. What Shanna Green say?
Let's see. I didn't let my children do things without me, like go to the store downstairs right next to my building alone and tell them not to go to any other stores without me or my permission. Absolutely. Nikki ain't let these kids go anywhere. We were absolutely helicopter parents to a point. Once high school set in and things started to get a little more mature, we kind of pulled back and let them find their autonomy, find their identity and all the rest of that stuff. But no, the things that we can control, we were absolutely controlling it because we were trying to leave little room for error.
Yes.
Sis said, what's up to everybody in the chat?
I was shamed for being a helicopter parent. I'm just saying. But you always got to be ran.
Say this shit.
Shame. You don't ever want to go away? You don't want to go on a trip? You don't want to come? No?
God.
Party? No? They too little. You're leaving them nowhere.
If they aren't doing what they should, why would the parents send them on their own?
Wow.
That's a good question. Sometimes it's survival of the fittest, right? You got to throw them in the pool. And sometimes they swim because they don't have this sink or swim. You might drown. But that's a great question. Do we throw them out to the wolves in 2024 America when they're not even ready to clean the kitchen and appreciate a good salmon?
No, they're ready. That house looked like it was very good training. They're just not implementing it. You know, so for grown men to live in your house, 18, you start working, you got to take some of that off of there. You got to pay for your stay. For them to not be getting no rent and them kids don't have to pay for no food, you know, that's just not, it's not responsible as a parent. So I don't know if people think that they're doing their children, you know, now if you got LLCs and y'all got all this big money, but I'm talking about average
regular
families.
People. Like right.
You know,
like
they need to provide to the family. If you ain't getting food stamps, you understand what I'm saying? Like food is expensive. It really is. And rent and mortgage and light and water and car insurance, like all of that stuff is expensive. And most parents carry their children on the car insurance. So that makes our insurance go up
a lot.
Skyrocket.
$200 to $300.
You know what I mean? They can't flunk on their portion. You understand? Their portion
Which they will.
You know? So
their portion is the most.
Right. So that part of teaching them responsibility is up to us. We can't be upset when we're not demanding them to do things that as adults, you have to do.
Okay.
You have to do. So we can't have them avoid that because we want to, you know, this is what happens. They don't know how to do it.
Shout out to everybody that's pulling in. I got another question for the people that just came in, and a shout out to everybody that's been here. Let's go ahead with the next question. Mrs. Harris, you want to read that one?
What values and principles do you prioritize instilling in your child, and how do you model these in your own behavior? Values and principles. What do you prioritize instilling in your child? I mean, you can instill them, but like you said, at the second part of it, how do you model this in your own behavior?
We're going to talk about it while y'all think about that question. Us checked in. He said, my children grew up in the suburbs their whole life. However, before sleepovers with friends, me and their mom would always meet the parents first. If we get a bad vibe from parents, nope. Sorry.
No, can't go. Yep.
Absolutely.
I was a little more strict. Even if I liked you, you still couldn't spend the night.
Absolutely. But bad vibe. And again, you know, kids, you be surprised at how kids will reflect on that. You know, we were fortunate that our little ones didn't look back like, I'm glad you didn't let me go over to people's houses. But once we articulate to them how precious they are to us, how unpredictable that situation is, the variables that can enter that situation that we have no idea of, we got to stay off limits to that.
Mm-hmm.
And they understood, you know, the more they matured and the more we put it to them in a way that they can understand was very helpful.
Yeah. Now that they're adults, they're absolutely understand, because when you get out into the world and you start meeting friends, and all of your friends have had some type of situation, you know, before they were ready, their innocence stolen, or whatever the case may be, it was always on somebody else's watch. You
Indeed.
know? So, you know.
Indeed. Blaze checked in. He said, my grandfather would teach me situational awareness, responsibility, and establishing a moral code through a series of tests and countless conversations. That's how you do it. Shout out to you and grandpops, man.
Tests. I would definitely like to hear a little bit more about that, because that's something that you definitely should do with your children. And with the first thing is teaching them how to follow directions. You know, start off with just 2 simples. Of course, when they're really little, 1 simple direction: go get me that, please and thank you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Repetitively.
Absolutely.
So, you know, and then it gets a little bit more, because you don't want them to get to 8 and you spearing out, well, I need you to do this, that, the blah, 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 blah. And you got an ADHD kid. And they like, okay, I heard everything, but I can't put it into action. You know, it's just too much. It's an overload. So take your time with them. Notice when they can get the 1 direction down pack, move it up to 2, then add 3, then 4, you know, and more and more and more. And you go from there. Just simply is getting me that book and turning to page 87.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how would you answer that question? Everybody in the chat, and Mrs. Harris, I think sis chimed in. I would say kindness and good manners. I show him by showing kindness and being respectful, for example, saying thank you, etc. And you are just your cadence alone told me a lot about you.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't never, hey, what's up? What's up, man? What's up, bro? Yo, bro. It was, hey, brother.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, brother.
I love it.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Even Nikki, when she's whatever she's doing, I get a smile. I get a nice tone, and it's noticeable. So I appreciate you ladies for doing what y'all do, and modeling that behavior is absolutely important. Mrs. Harris, what values and principles do you prioritize instilling in your child, and how do you model these?
No lying. That's very big for me. All right. And kindness. Really big. Yeah. Respect, kindness, acts of service, and, you know, the no lying thing. Yeah, those are big ones.
Okay.
Books, talking, like you said, modeling the behavior, you know,
and
the
how
kindness.
do you do that? How do you model that behavior?
You know, showing human respect to little people, you know, manners, please and thank you when you're asking them for things, you know, again, trying to eliminate the no, but still finding ways to articulate that something is dangerous. So that was probably my favorite word when they were infants. So they know that I'm telling you to not do this because it is dangerous, you know, touching something that's hot, the socket, you know, attempting to plug something in, scissors, knives, you know, a pencil poking to the face, like any of those things, running with lollipops, and, you know, parents was beautiful. Don't run with that in your mouth, right? Because you imagine them falling, and, you know, they don't know.
I hear you.
Child.
Oz checked in. What Oz say?
He said, the hardest thing for me to do was to let my 2 oldest make their decisions. Once they hit 18, my tutelage, that what that says? My tutelage became advice, but all above, respect is paramount, integrity is paramount, honesty, etc. Yes.
Nice word, sir.
Yeah.
Tutelage.
Yeah, lying is big trouble. So, you know, it's definitely some severe consequences behind that.
Okay.
You know, The story of the boy who cried wolf is something that, you know, we present to the kids, or any stories like that of lying. So I'm big at the library, you know, finding books as such. So we actually have a series of books that talks about lying, disobeying, you know, anything that you can possibly think of. I might have to put it in the chat for y'all. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but you know, those books are something that we constantly go over so they understand our role. You know, because they don't want to be controlled. By the time they get to 8, 9, 10, they'll say, you know, I want to be big. I want to be big like y'all because, you know, I want to, you know, want to have autonomy for self, you know, but they have to understand we have rules and regulations and boundaries for a reason. You know, we have more experience. We've been here longer. We understand the world, and it's our job to teach you. So along the way, you're not going to like that you can't do this and you can't do that, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's hard for parents, I think, to get on their children's level to articulate why. It's just because, you know, like most of us grew up with I said so. You know, I'm the parent, I said so. But we had to learn better than that, right? For our kids. But they probably don't know how to articulate as far as, you know, the ages of development goes. And by the time they get to grown, now we screaming at them and don't know how to build that dialogue.
Okay. Okay.
What do you think? What values and principles?
You know me, you know, more reality-based values and principles, you know, honesty, integrity, all of those things go without saying, especially because, you know, they're young ladies. Our, you know, son is grown beyond his years, almost 30 years old. So the ladies, it was the reality of having a plan, being aware of your surroundings, being conscious.
Aware of your surroundings. 2 years old. Yeah.
And I model it. You know, I try to embody it.
Yeah.
I try to be present in my situations.
Hasn't it been a joke? Pretty girls fall up the stairs.
They fall pretty much in whatever they can, but yes, they do. Yes.
It's more of a habit, not even falling down the stairs. Like, child, we be trying to run up the steps for years. Just falling up the steps. What is the problem? Slow down. It's just funny. Little family joke.
What do you guys think? I'm gonna share a video with you guys. Let me know what y'all think.
And there are things we used to give kids and we stopped because we became so obsessed with the idea that anything could be traumatizing.
Well, we're also worried because the media is constantly depicting these stories of children getting kidnapped and killed and this and that and predators. That's a real fear.
Right. But you can't protect kids from every kind of pain. Right. We are so obsessed with, I've had parents call me about a bad, you know, or I've heard of, you know, teachers getting upset about bullying. And what was the bullying? Someone said something not nice to someone else. Now, I tell my kids to treat people kindly, of course, but I have to tell you something. If my kids came to me and said, she said something mean to me, I would say, work it out. It's not going to kill you. You'll live. Why? Because if I make my kids think, and I learned this from the process of writing the book, if I make them think that my job is to make sure they never feel any emotional distress ever, boy, that's a lifelong journey and it's going to be a losing one. There is good psychological research shows that the things we're doing with kids are not helping. They're counterproductive. And there's a lot of research that shows that the old way of doing things, which is don't take a pill if you don't need it. Don't go to a therapist if you don't need it. You have a problem, talk to a friend, talk to an aunt, talk to someone who loves you.
Yeah.
And really cares how you turn out.
Yeah.
If you can go to a religious, you know, a priest, but go to a therapist if you really need it. But don't do it casually. I mean, I talked to moms who did it because a pet died. Or they did it prophylactically before the kids had any problems. They said, I wanted my teenager to know she had someone who was on retainer to talk to in case she had a problem. Not having any sense that therapist could also introduce worries
And then there's also probably the issue of the child going to the therapist and enjoying the fact that the entire conversation revolves around them.
Sure. Of course, wouldn't you? I mean, and they get to rise above it all. They get to evaluate the job the parents are doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to raise a child who thinks she can scream or thinks she can march into a room and silence the entire room based on her preference.
What do you guys think so far? Mrs. Harris, what do you think so far?
Man, she's spot on. I agree. I agree. I remember having to say that to parents, to build them up, to empower them. Don't be a wuss. Stop being a sucker. Like, cause we are. A lot of us are suckers for our children. Again, just to have that outlet. Like, no, it should be an auntie or a godparent, outside of that, because these children do control us a lot. The children control your lives. Once you start to have children, they kind of control it. So you have to make sure you set a foundation of boundaries very early.
Absolutely. Empathy is paramount. Compassion for others, respect for those who are considered your elder, love yourself, set boundaries, find your happiness in yourself first. Don't be defined by perceptions of. That's more fire right there.
More fire.
Let him cook.
Good.
Let that man cook. Is he cooking? He cooking in the chat.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook.
He's a chef too, y'all. Okay, Oz. I hear you. I ain't mad at that. Whenever we took the bus or train, I had to learn routes, street names, surrounding buildings, etc. He would time me, and see if I could beat him home using alternate directions.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Sense of direction gonna be impeccable.
Mm-hmm.
And landmarks, like he said, all of the different things that that's resourcefulness.
That sense of direction. Growing up the baby of the boys, we traveled. Man, I was probably 6, 7 years old. We was traveling far, different boroughs. We had family everywhere, so we had the freedom, to move around in the city in the 80s. It was not a big deal, whether we walked. So being able to navigate that young freely, was beneficial because I'm pretty good with the sense of direction.
You are.
And I have to say that came from that practice. Like we were in the wilderness and building forts and stuff and finding. Shout out to Queens for all the land. Okay.
Shout out to Queen. Shout out to 50.
Many. Grow up with him too. Shout out to Boo.
Shout out to Boo. God
don't
damn,
be mad. Don't be mad.
Don't take it there, yo.
No, it's peace, man.
Shout out to Jaro too. He from there too.
What's that?
Is that you? Smell pussy. Is that you? Is that you, Black? Smell pussy. Is that you, Ty? Y'all niggas.
Damn.
Real beef too. Damn, Lord Harris. Okay.
All right. Let's get back on track. I can always clip that out. Let's let her.
Parents being too soft on raising their kids nowadays.
They aren't liberated to trust their own instincts and what they have seen work for others. And you know what? The examples are all around you if you look. There are people who are good people and you can ask them. By the way, immigrants, because they don't go for this nonsense usually. You can ask them, What was it like in the old country? Or what was it like where you came from? What are you doing? And they call this, have you ever seen this, the Latino paradox? They call this in the psychology. Why are Latinos, why do they have better mental health when they come to this country, when they are immigrants, before they assimilate? And the more they acculturate to American culture, the worse their mental health gets. Why? And part of the reason is they have social stability in their relational. They are surrounded by extended family, which also means people are saying the wrong things to them. They're saying insulting things. They're making inappropriate jokes. They're giving them foods mom doesn't approve of, and they're surviving it all. And also, they know they can.
The reality of hard work is inescapable.
That's right. They're not afraid of authority. Parents are in charge. They will give their kids chores and hard work. They will teach them, you know what? Mom's working 2 jobs. I'm not going to bother her with my trivial problem, but that liberates the kid to realize, hey, my problem is kind of trivial. There are bigger problems.
Right.
We're doing the opposite in this country. We're telling kids the small problem you have is so big. I'm going to stop everything to focus on it.
Right.
But I know, they've done these studies on human happiness. People who love you and you love back over a lifetime, family, friends you keep for a long time. Wow, those, that does a lot to help you be happy. Surrounding your kids with and giving them freedom to make friends. Maybe you don't like maybe they're not your favorite friends, but realizing that they're entitled to have their own friends, trusting them to start a job or take a chance you wouldn't have picked for them. You have to let them figure some of this stuff out on your own. I mean, one of the things I did, so I changed a little while I was writing the book. And one of the things I did was my daughter was begging to walk home from the bus stop by herself. And she was little. She was 9. And I was scared. I don't even know if it's allowed in my state. But she really wanted to walk home from the bus stop. She had to cross 2 streets. And I let her. And I let her because I was interviewing parent after parent after parent who weren't letting their kids do things like that. And then they had 13-year-olds who didn't want to leave the house.
Yeah. What do you guys think about what y'all hear so far? Shout out to our sister Precious on the check-in. Hey, Precious, hope all is well.
Thank you for pulling up and popping in.
Absolutely amazing stream you had last night. Always amazing information.
Gentlemen's.
We appreciate you, Precious. Appreciate your platform. Appreciate you giving us a place to come through and keep doing what you do, sis. What you think so far? Ron Eric is in the building. Beat extraordinaire. Salam, brother. Hope you're having an easy fast.
Oh, man. I mean, I noticed what she said when she was writing the book. She changed. Growth and development, parents. Growth and development. It happens. It happens. Yeah, that's a big one, the walking home from school.
Yes.
Walking to school, walking home from school.
Yes.
Yeah, that was hard. I grew up in a stalker family, so when the oldest I think it's because of where we were, the town we was in. I don't trust them folks where we was living. So I had a habit of pulling up on the child, and they was wearing the earbuds.
Okay.
So that was my biggest thing. Don't be walking in these streets like your father tell you, situational awareness. You need to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Somebody could pull up on you, jump right out of car, grab you. You don't know what the hell is going on. So, doing that, they reflect back on it like, but that happened to me. My brothers did that to me. I used to walk with my head down and don't step on the crack and stuff. So he would come yoke me up behind.
Don't step on the crack.
Yeah. Don't step on the crack and break your mama's back.
Yeah, that wasn't real.
No. Okay. That was, we talking 6, 7, 8. We was outside, okay? Well, if they saw me doing that, easily get me, yoke me up, so it made me more aware. Absolutely. Like, this is how easy it could be. Somebody could just take you in the bushes and do whatever, blah, 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 scaring the hell out of me. But, appreciate it. I was more aware.
They was dramatic.
That's my own. Very good.
You live in Queens, though. Spider-Man Mike.
Hey, I would say, yeah, some of them niggas was Spider-Man. I was
Shout
pretty.
Out to Sir Hale on the check. Yeah, my brother is here. Hope everybody is doing well. Sir Hale, I hope you're having a good start to your week. Shout out to you, Lady Hale. If you guys got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. They can be conscious parenting related or otherwise. We've been together for a real long time. We can answer some questions. And if you don't have any questions,
we got some.
We got some. But y'all, they had no questions for us last time.
We try not to be offended when the questions is asked too.
Last time they didn't. We got some for y'all though, like this one. How do you navigate and address conflicts or disagreements with your child in a way to promote understanding and mutual respect? We're going to let her finish cooking. Yeah, these questions good, right?
Deep, yeah. You know what I was going to say? Feed them. I think about the color purple. He said, feed her. Wait. Not letting her take over everything. But what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Lord have mercy.
Almost got what we asked for.
It's more strategies. There's so many more strategies. We're going to talk about it.
And sometimes you got to laugh with your kids. You know,
these
better
know how to laugh.
Witty and smart, and they'll come to you with some real, you got to be like, wait, what?
That TikTok logic.
You trying to hold.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. They want to be heard, and you should listen.
But y'all think about that question. Think about that question. Let's let her cook.
I was a latchkey kid, so when I was young, there was no supervision.
Right.
You just left.
Right.
When I was 6 years old, we just opened the door and walked out of the house.
Right.
Younger than that. I mean, there was never a time where there was.
Didn't you just say that? That you was like, hell no, I couldn't do that.
Before we moved to Queens, babe, I'm telling you, we used to go to Marcy Pool. So I wasn't even in, kindergarten. We 4, 5, and 6 going to the penny candy store like 2 blocks down. Remember the penny candy?
Yes, I remember the penny candy store. I wasn't allowed to go to it by myself.
But it's 3 of us.
Whenever I wanted.
No, but that's
even
what
if it was 3.
It's like
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
God,
you wonder why I'm such a conscious parent? Because we got into a lot of shit.
Sharon ain't know where her children was at. Mommy, we gotta talk, mommy. Mommy, you letting them kids? Nikki, little Nikki.
We was going to a whole nother neighborhood to the family house. Yes, I remember getting on the train going to Coney Island.
I gotta talk to mommy. Mommy, we gotta talk. I know she got us on the big screen too. Shout out to mommy. We love you, Ma. Hope all is well. She chilling out in Florida. Yeah. Usually have us on the big screen too. And she loved our talk.
I'm self-reflecting.
So shout out to you, mommy. But
we gonna
talk about that.
Shout out to my brothers for always protecting me.
But Joe Rogan said he left at 6'2", and look at him. He's amazing. You amazing too. So let's roll with it. Let's roll with it.
Any supervision.
Walking, by the way, things like walking to school are really good for kids. They learn to navigate their world. It's really healthy to have competency. And that's something you don't have to spend money on. That's the thing. All of these fixes are really, a lot of them are just common sense.
She said they common sense. That's a conversation that we've had a lot.
Oh, it used to be such a debate. Fight
on
common sense.
Is it a thing? Is it not? Let us know.
Oh man, you was raised down in Brooklyn. I was raised down in Queens. Our common sense.
We doing it well. What do you guys think? Is there common sense? Is there not? Let us know. What y'all think of the question, though? How do you navigate and address conflicts or disagreements with your child in a way that promotes understanding and mutual respect? I'll go first because I see so many people that go first. Hell yeah, they don't like it. That shit is like
that was me
dying to them. I can't go. Can you come back to me? You want to steal somebody's answer? No. Go now.
I gotta think.
Go now.
Gotta think about It's a lot. It's packed. It's not easy.
Getting out of my own way and being humble. Again, sometimes I come off, unique. Sometimes my approach, my delivery, dynamic, cadence, tone, all of those things. And sometimes I got to double back. Sometimes I have to clarify. Sometimes I have to apologize. And all of those things, again, show that we can disagree as father and daughter, as husband and wife, but we still understand each other. We respect each other. Again, fighting like heavyweight champions of the world.
Gotta be
that shows a mutual respect. No hitting below the belt. No biting. No spitting.
I like the bite.
But this is how we get an understanding that we have a mutual respect for each other. What do you think, Mrs. Harris?
I agree with everything you said. I'm big in the library. So, in any instance that a child can put us through, there's some type of book, there's some type of story, that you can follow up with just so they get a better understanding. And honestly, self-reflection of when you were a child, everything your child is going through, have gone through, possibly thinks, will think later. Your ass kind of went through it. If you're a girl, you kind of know to some degree. I don't know shouldn't be. There's no excuses for the I don't know when it comes to women raising girls to be women. Okay. If you don't know, you need to go find out. So when they start asking those questions, you need to be able to tell them, because you don't want them to go out into the street and find it out the hard way, like getting pregnant at 15 or even 19 and don't even understand what's happening to their body.
Absolutely.
So those conversations are needed. Again, there's an abundance of books. Like I said, the lying, disobeying.
I mean, I'm glad you said that. Not knowing about their bodies. You don't think that, well, I should say one would think that most women know about their bodies, about, reproduction, so on and so forth. But you would be surprised at how many don't. What makes me want to bring it up and have a little bit of a sidetrack conversation is the BBL situation we've been hearing about, how they stink. Like they stink.
Y'all, they stink.
Right.
Hey, BBLs, they stink. Gentlemen, anybody, ladies who have licked on some, excuse me,
wait
we in the wrong.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
Tuesday.
Y'all know better than us. I mean,
But with the BBL smelling, and again, I read an article, and the article went a little further and said that, a lot of ladies aren't wiping properly in addition to having the BBL. So again, that, says a lot about hygiene, knowledge, consciousness. We want to speak to that.
Women ain't teaching their daughters how to bathe. You get, again, there's a honeymoon phase. You start to back away, and certain things that you don't need to be hands-on with. But it's a whole growth and development for girls. And you being the mother, you should know this, right? Because you kind of went through it, right?
Okay.
And if you grew up in a home where you were shamed because your panties was dark, or you didn't wipe well, or all those things, like, be aware. Make sure they know how to do those things. Check in the bathroom and make sure their back is wet, knowing that they took care of that. Different rags, spoofs, all of those things need to be a repetitive thing for a little, till you're sure that they got it down. The do's and the don'ts. Don't put soap inside. Like, you really have to be really specific. And who knows best than mommy? Like, and if you don't know, it's a lot of videos and tutorials on how to do these things, because it's very important. From the front to the back. Okay, ladies, wipe front to back. Child.
I dropped a link if anybody would like to come through. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. You can come through. You can ask if you would like. And let's see what we got.
And that don't eliminate the fathers, gentlemen. Y'all need to talk to y'all boys about when that start getting erections at a certain age, you know, why it's happening, what they should do, you know, don't tuck the clothes, sticky clothes in the wash, you know, it's normal, you know, don't have them feel ashamed of what's happening to their body. Explain to them, you know, what's happening, you know, what semen is, and that you guys create life, like real stuff. We play too much with these kids. We're not giving them the real information so they can use it, you know, and have that knowledge to move in an appropriate manner as they get older.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Like Blaze and Grandpa, he said, thing is, I couldn't just beat him once. I had to be able to consistently win. It took several attempts, but I finally did win back to back to back. Once I started 6th grade, I was given a house key.
Bam.
Rules
That's
to this.
awesome. That's awesome.
It's rules to this.
Yeah.
We had to respect the rules, the hierarchy, the steps. You didn't just go outside and proclamate yourself as you had to put the work in.
Yeah, it was definitely a work first, play later method. You know, we grew up with, once we got with our stepfather, the last stepfather, so I was 8.
Okay.
So it was a lot of molding in that home. Like it was like, bam.
Okay. And you appreciate it.
I absolutely appreciate it. Yeah, because we was kind of all over the place.
Oz checked in. He said, early independence for my children was big for me. For the most part, they grew up on military bases, so safety wasn't an issue. If they want to walk home from school, great. It saves me gas money and, you know, maintenance and wear and tear on the vehicle. Shout out to Alexander X. My good brother. Hope all is well. Hope you're enjoying the beginning of your week. And we just chopping up with a Q&A. So if you guys got any questions, you could drop them in the chat. You can pop in and ask them in person if you would like. Is that StreamYard open? Yes, I put the link in the chat and you can go ahead and click it.
Alex has some
Speak
tips.
clearly and directly to the kids. It ain't what you say, but how you
I agree. And always express to your children that you're not mad. You know, explain to them that there's other emotions. You can say you're frustrated, you're a little annoyed, that you have to constantly repeat yourself, but they always feel like you're mad at them and that they're bad. So kind of change that mindset. You know, you don't want them thinking that, because then they're going to start not liking themselves to some degree. You know, their self-confidence will sway. So, you know, just make them know how you feel. You know, annoyed, frustrated, tired, drained. There's so many other words than mad and angry.
Precious said, mommy, she's laughing. And Oz, you said something. You can speak to this. How are you, sir? Hope all is well. And speak to this after you say hello to everybody.
Kids,
I was definitely a latchkey kid. No supervision in them streets, but I was given great nuggets on how to navigate Bed-Stuy. I had big brothers like
you, sis. We got you.
Yes.
What up, bro? What's good, man?
What's good, my family? What's good with the family viewers out there?
All is well. How you doing, man? And let us know how you doing and reflect on anything you heard so far, my brother.
I'm doing great. It's about to get greater. I will keep you informed when, you know, this thing pops off, which I'm hoping it will, but I know it will. But I'm great, man. I've just been like listening for the most part. And out of all of y'all discussions about parenting and the questions, this one here was the most, I'm not gonna say I've listened to, but had a lot of answers for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew my household, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't rainbows and pink bunnies in that bitch.
Right.
But things as far as letting us become our own self and, you know, being self-sufficient and have the lady that wrote the book said how like it's just like, hey, I wouldn't let my daughter walk home from school until she did. It's like, dude, like shit, man. I used to walk to junior high school. Mom ain't give a fuck. They could go to school. Give a fuck how 258 was what 10 blocks away, but you still gotta cross Tompkins, still gotta cross District, and cars is just flying. So I get her being apprehensive about letting her child walk 2 blocks. How about 10, 12 blocks in New York, right? So, but it's a whole different environment where I'm sure her daughter grew up in. But
absolutely.
What up, sis?
Hey
Love
now.
you.
Yes. How
Alexander
you doing?
checked in. He said, yeah, I walked every single day to school and back while watching my younger cousins get rides every day.
Damn. That's a low blow.
Blaze said, to answer the question, whenever I was upset or angry, my grandfather would do breathing exercises with me. He always told me to never engage in any conflict when your temperature is running high. Wise man. I was a wise man.
I think that's something we need to start teaching our girls young. We give them so much pass, for our ever so fluctuating emotions. And it's been pandered and coddled, I think, too long, to where we're getting to a point where grown women have no self-control. We're so in our emotions, we cannot listen past our emotions. And that's hard. It's hard because our children, y'all know I keep going back to the kids, but they're not being good mothers to the children at this point.
And we all can be better models. We all can be better models of this behavior. Us as men as well. We can be very reactionary. We can be, very volatile and not capable to de-escalate. I understand things may go up. Things may go up.
Yes.
But we should be able to bring them back down. Just
that part.
Just
you're
as
good at
easy.
that. I appreciate that.
Precious checked in. She said, even simple things like mindful breathing before communicating.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And another thing, you have to equip your children with that. That's definitely something that I've had to do with them. Find ways to calm yourself. You can't always hug them and pat them down. They get bigger. Like, you have to find ways to calm. Self-soothing.
He said, my parents always told me they loved me a few minutes after disciplining me. That meant a lot.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
We try to do the same thing.
Why you do it.
And come behind each other. If mommy had to discipline, I'll come behind. Like, mommy had to do what she had to do, but we love you. It is what it is. That's just, that's just a situation. We get through it.
And what's crazy is they all had that fear like that. He's like Muhammad. He's not an ass whooper, So, but it's always that fear that if you're gonna tell daddy, that would always, because I talk so much. We build the girls. We build so much about the behavior because everything you've done or do or think you're gonna do, I've done. Like, little girl stuff, lying, all of it. Like, but daddy always comes back and reflects, and we got to have each other's back like that.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell him, I'm gonna tell him.
Smelly
Like, that doesn't mean he's gonna come in here and yell and scream at you like I did. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get that. So that's a good thing.
Yes, indeed.
I think their best reward is them having children of their own, and they're gonna pick up their phone and then be like, hey, remember when you said XYZ and blah blah blah? I get it now. You know what I mean? So
indeed. Blaze checked in. He said he taught me how to fight, but I taught me more so.
Yeah.
That fighting should always be a final resort when there's no other option left. Again, we would run scenarios to test my abilities to keep calm. That's one thing, shout out to Triple L. Shout out to, Muhammad Jones that's sitting here on the panel, because we wanted to be musicians.
Right.
And we wanted to be musicians. My brothers said, okay, take this improv class. We said, for what? We want to be musicians. He said, because you're going to need it. And I think that was one of the best things he did for us, was put us in that improv class.
Wow. Shout out to Brother Lee. L.
Well,
because it taught us how to handle situations.
Improv.
How to right. Sometimes improvisation is needed. You might have to make things up on the fly. Be resourceful. I'm pretty sure you do it a lot in the kitchen, chef. Let's make something happen, man.
Yeah.
Every day. It's like, why are we panicking? We're cooking food. We're not doing brain surgery. We can always start over. You know what I'm saying? If you fuck up, we can start over. But if you're in somebody's brain and you cut the wrong whatever, they're probably right, man. Survey says. You know what I mean? But I deal with food, bro. It's like, if you fuck it up, we can start over. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I mean?
Consciousness, man. Consciousness. We got a question. Shout out to Blaze for the question. We appreciate you, man. Put your Cash App up. I'm about to send you a Cash App for the question. Nobody be asking us no questions. We got some answers if y'all got some questions. Was there any lessons that you were taught growing up, but you no longer utilize in your adulthood? Yes. Me, yes. That violence settles everything. Bravado, machismo, poking your chest out, living for today, not thinking about tomorrow. All of these things, I had to unlearn them. These were things that were high on the priority list in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Living for today was one of the top. Like, we weren't going to live. We didn't have an expectation. I had no idea I was going to be turning 50. If you would have told me I was going to make it to 50, I would have told you was lying. I'm about to be 50.
Dude,
so
the same thing. I mean, not to cut you off, but I just said the same thing. Like I'm about to be 48. I can count on my fingers and toes and legs and elbows and knees, whatever, of folks I grew up with who not here right now.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm like, I'm about to be 48 from Bed-Stuy, like from fucking the New York, the fucking hood, like the hood, bro. And it's like
hood.
I mean, some of those lyrics were absolutely spot on. That, you know, we call the cops the A-team because they hop out of vans and spray things. And life expectancy is so low, niggas is making their wills at 18. Mrs. Harris, what were any lessons that you were taught growing up, but you no longer utilize in your adulthood?
Happy wife, happy life. I've never utilized it. Seeing it, watching on TV, hear women say that stuff. I just like, that would make no sense. Because if the husband not happy, he gonna leave. Like, I don't even understand why y'all say that shit, but okay. Happy spouse, happy house. That's how that's supposed to be. So, you know, I saw a lot of women, you know, run their homes with iron fists. It's different when you run your children, but your home, nah. And, you know, I saw a lot of control, you know, of the possessions, of the home, of just everything, even the man. And he could have no say. So those are things that I did not utilize in my adulthood. You know, a man has a say. He has a right to his say. And I should be willing to listen and learn. And at times it was hard. You know, some of y'all's medicine is hard because we do think differently. You know, we contemplate life differently. We see things differently. But I absolutely had to learn to respect that he does have his own views, own mind, you know. He's never allowed me to force my vision on him. You know, it's either I agree, we move together, or it's just a no-go.
Indeed. Us, what about you, man? Any lessons that you learned growing up that you no longer utilize in your adulthood, sir?
It's pretty much the same as like yours, man. It's like where we grew up. The answer for everything is, oh, you got beef? Okay.
Go get the gun, nigga.
You know what I mean? Like no.
Gasoline.
You got beef with me for no. Dude, I still tell a story, man. Me sitting on that damn dumpster, me, the Fab Five minus you, and this dude, your homeboy, walked right up on me and was like, "Yo, what's up?" Well, he said Sean, and I'm like, "Nah, I'm not Sean." And I always think like, what if you and this dude had beef? You know what I'm saying? Like, and he didn't speak nothing. Oh, that's him. And I promise you, son, he walked right up on me, dead to my face, like, "Sean, what's up?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not Sean." You know what I mean? So like if his answer to whatever y'all had beef with, you know, if he decided to slap me, okay, but nobody's getting slapped. Nobody's fighting. I'm gonna put ratchet, and it's so like violence. Son, like it's not worth it, man. It's just not. You know, it's okay when it's for your government, though.
God damn.
You know what I mean? Like,
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service, man. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like that's okay, but if it's some random rando, and like I told you, dude walked right up on all of us, and we just think he crossing the street. He came straight to me, "Sean, what's up?" I'm like, "Nah," and I didn't do it.
I'm a positive brother in the hood, so it was absolutely not going to be no beef because
Yeah,
you know,
that was your man,
all
though.
about positivity, always been.
Yeah, that was your man, King, or something. Yeah, from King. He'd be like, "Yo, you remember me from King?" I'm like, "Not me, bro."
Sis said, "Make it happen." That's right, sis. Blaze said, "Way off topic, but I was digging in the crates earlier, and I came across this song called Brooklyn by Master Ace, Marco Polo, and Smith and Wesson. Give that song a listen when you got a chance. Will do." And, you know, Tech and Steel is, you know, heavy in my hood. Tech is from my neighborhood. You know, Steel is from Brownsville. So just a hop, skip, and a jump. But we heavy with those guys, you know, Low Lives, rest in peace, Sean Price, and all of that, Pamp and all of that Brooklyn shit. Absolutely. But I will throw it on, and I might even, you know, pop it on for us here. Another question from Blaze. Do you think it's easier to learn something new versus unlearning something that's second nature?
The second part. I think it's easier to learn something new, in my opinion. Versus, you know, learning something that's second nature. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Us?
I think it's harder to let go of what you consider second nature. It's like based more on how old you are. Like, you know how they say you can't teach old dogs new tricks. It's like
indeed.
Folks get stuck in their ways, and no matter how much you show them, hey, this is the right way, this is the right thing, this is right, this is right. No matter how many times you say it, it's like, yeah, I've been doing this for 40 years.
Indeed.
I wouldn't disagree with second nature, or is it their
I wouldn't
first
disagree
nature?
with that. Again, no, it's second nature because, you know, first nature is whatever you had as a baby, that universal kindness, that innocence, and then that goes away. And then we start to get absolutely second nature.
Right. That's the environment you're creating.
I think, you know, I agree with you guys. I think it's a little harder to unlearn something that is, you know, mechanical in your movements. But again, 30 days of concentration and consciousness will break either one. You can learn something new or you can unlearn. Just gotta be persistent and consistent with that practice. So 30 days, 60 days, by 90 days, if you stay with it, you could do anything, man. You're a god.
Man, so
a question for y'all. Go ahead, Oz. While I pull up this
thing at work where I say, like, I've started and it was like a shit show there, like just a shit show. And I said, if we do 1% better every day, 1% better every day for 100 days, you be surprised where you can go. And I live by that shit, and I do it 1% better every day for 100 fucking days. And I instill that shit in my cooks, the servers, the fucking dishwashers, the stock guy. And now it's like I'll be in there like this, like a fucking
when it's smooth.
maestro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
okay.
You know what I mean? So it's so like as
orchestra playing
as
ever so smoothly.
Might be change is possible. Like you said, C's 30 days, 60 days. Mine's is 1% every day for 100 days, and you will be 100% better than you were 99 days prior.
Okay. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. That was a bar right there. 1%. Amen. I'm gonna share a screen with y'all. Let's share a screen. We live in Baltimore. Pretty sure you guys know that. We say it a lot. And it's a particular temperature here. When I say temperature, I mean conscious parenting.
Is this the moment in time to talk about that?
No,
I mean, literally, is this the moment in time? Like we're talking about the work we need to do to deal with the issues that we have. We have 11 children shot today. This is not about stop and frisk. This is not about that right now. They're doing all these things and on putting themselves on social media and then getting fired up and engaged and then come out here and shoot. Small beefs on social media.
Now, this is Philadelphia. This isn't Baltimore. But we do live in Baltimore where it's very similar. This is Philadelphia, and this is, again, 8 to 11 students were shot at a bus stop. Police are searching for multiple gunmen. And this has been going on for about 4 days. This is Philadelphia.
You said something wrong. You looked at me wrong. And now we're having young people out here taking them in their hands and putting guns in their hands and killing people. Yesterday, we had a gun with a trigger mechanism on it.
8 people have been shot at a SEPTA bus stop in Philadelphia's Burholm neighborhood.
I never, ever thought that anyone would shoot me walking to school or kill me at the doorstep of a school, or let alone getting on the bus 2 blocks down. So for those parents and those children, yeah, it's very traumatic. And I know the school district and Dr. Wallington will be deploying their teams to be able to deal with those issues as they always do. For the shooters, I mean, they come from their parents need to get engaged. We said this multiple times. I asked every parent today, go in those rooms and look under those tables and look under those closets and get those guns out of the house, right? Because at the end of the day, many of these kids are coming from the same communities that they're shooting at, right? And they know who they are, and the community knows who they are. We can't do this by ourselves. Like, we need the community, we need parents to get engaged and engage with what their young people are doing. They're looking at drill rap, they're looking at TV, they're fully automatic. I mean, able to fire multiple rounds in seconds. That's not acceptable.
If we didn't learn anything else from the pandemic, is that kids, most of them, learn more with in-person instruction than in remote learning. So it's so important that we work together to win this war on gun violence so that kids can be in school.
But a lot of moms and dads are going to be like, they're not going to learn anything when they're shot in the hospital or they're dead.
Absolutely.
But wait, let me just go back to your question. I have the full confidence of our police commissioner and every partner that you heard me reference here today, that we are working together to ensure that your travel to and fro, whether or not that's school, that's to work, to the doctor's office, to the supermarket, we're going to be doing everything that we possibly can together, is the key to ensure the safety of our streets and our very valuable partner with SEPTA.
What do you think about what you hear? When you hear something like this, Mrs. Harris, and the police officers say we need parents to be more involved with their children.
It's horrible. They've been saying this for the past 20 years plus, like when we were kids, but this is becoming more, in abundance in a lot of cities. The technology is desensitizing them, like you said, they're getting hyped up and, you say one little thing. I mean, we look at grown adults who just don't like you and they come, want to bully and act a fool, so to see this still happening, it's disgraceful. Parents got to step up. They got to be involved. Like he said, go in there and go through their shit. You ain't got no privacy. kids get way too much respect, and then in turn they disrespect. They disrespect the parents. They go out into the community and disrespect. It's a sad day. What you think?
What do you think, Oz? What do you think about that clip, man? And again, about him saying that parents need to be a little more involved.
He is 100 million thousands correct. The parents should need to get involved. Like, they watch, most parents watch their kids. Most parents realize when there's a change in behavior. And if you choose to ignore the change and just think, oh, it's teenage angst, or it's him or her growing up, or blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, him or her is writing a whole manifesto ready to just kill the whole school, or 8 or 9 kids at a bus stop. Like, you can't even go to fucking school. It's just bananas, and he's 100% right. Get in your kid's phone, get in their laptop. Kids have this way of now, what they do, like they'll change their passwords and all that shit. And I feel like if I'm paying your bill, it's nothing. It's nothing you can do on your phone that I can't block. If I go to T-Mobile or AT&T or Sprint or Verizon and say, hey, I want XYZ blocked off my kid's phone, that's a thing. You can do that. But, I'm in this situation now where it's like, oh, she needs her phone for school. For what? She's supposed to be learning. The fuck she need a phone for? If something happens, it's phones in the classroom now. They will call you and say, hey, such and such is acting out.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, the parents definitely need to be 100% more involved in what the fuck these kids is doing. Like, they are out of fucking control.
A link. This is an app for parents. Family Link.
Yes, I have that on my phone right now. Shawnee can't walk
Tell the
outside
people what it is. You just put it in the screen.
I'm about to. He's talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, like, I have that link now, and well, not now. Like we've had it. Like, she can't leave the house. Boop. Or it also monitors her usage online, all that shit.
Yeah, you can control it. It's Family Link. You download it. You put your children's phones in there and all of it, and you control it, whether it has Wi-Fi, the time, and you can turn it off at a certain time at night. It won't come back on in the morning. All of that. You get to see the apps that they're on, how much usage they're using it. You get a lot of control because they, in my opinion, I don't think they should have it if they're under 15 at all. That's just my opinion.
Well, shit, my kids got their phone at like 10, but like that was, I ain't gonna say pre-Ashanti, but Ashanti was a baby. You know what I mean? So
baby had a phone too.
Huh?
The baby didn't have no phone though, right?
No, the fuck no. Not until she turned 10. But here is the thing, dude. By 10 years old, she know how to use the phone better than I do. She still know how to use my phone that I have. She be showing me shit like, nah, do this. I'm like, damn, I didn't even know my phone could do. You know what I'm saying? They are so more informative now than 20 years ago. Shit.
No, they're not. About phones, they are.
Yeah. Like,
ask them to tell you the 50 states. Tell you,
ask them to show some respect.
Ask them something else, and they know nothing.
Yeah, them phones.
Right.
And very concentrated.
And I think a lot of people believe that. They think that they're gaining some type of knowledge by equipping their children with this technology. Like they're going to miss out on something, like they're not going to be equipped to navigate in the
electronic world.
Yeah, it's not. And it's not true. So, I think it's a grip. It's a grip for them to have fun. We don't have to pay that much attention to our children. I think parents need to own up to that. It's just like putting a TV in front of them.
Right. Yeah.
Now they got a little one.
I agree 110%. I honestly do, you know, but there's a caveat behind that because, like I said, like she knew how to use the phone by like 3. Can do every fucking thing. 3, she's doing this, or like she playing games, she doing that. But it also came with, hey, let's control her content, right? And her uncontrollable content came with us splitting. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, no, she don't need no fucking TikTok at 10 or no Snapchat. No, for what? And now it's out of fucking control. And when I say, hey, well, these are things that should be done or that we can do, it's like, well, not for nothing, but it's just like, well, what you do at your house? Like, what the fuck? That's the wrong answer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's the wrong fucking answer. That's a throat clearing answer, Nick. And thank you for, you know what I mean? Like, that's the wrong answer. It should be the same shit in both households.
Yeah.
Control, watch, control, watch, control, watch. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
I agree.
No doubt. Blaze got a question. Is there or has it ever been a lesson that you and your children both had to learn at the same time? Mrs. Harris, you want to go first?
Shit. Damn, plenty. It's too many to name. Jeez. No, I don't want to go first. This is what I'm going to sit back and think about because it's a lot. Shit.
Us, you want to jump on it?
The first one that popped in my head is that my youngest had to learn that there's nothing that you can do that I won't find out about. And I had to learn that me just unconsciously trusting her, bad fucking decision.
Okay.
And I just leave.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
What about you?
I would answer his question by saying we both learned at the same time that we both learning this. We both are new at this. She's new at being somebody's daughter. I'm new at being somebody's dad, especially a functional one. Now, I know ways, dysfunction. I know what, dishonorable children look like and ungrateful children look like, but I don't know what this whole function, being able to come to each other, having a family that loves and kind of wants to thrive with each other. I don't know what that looks like. I've never been a part of it.
Right.
Seen it on TV. So I'm still learning this, and she the same.
Right.
So we had to come to that understanding. But like Mrs. Harris was saying, most of the lessons that we learn, we kind of learn them together.
Mm-hmm.
The, reciprocation of the parent-child relationship. The same way we could sit them down and let them know they can sit us down. They have sat us down and let us know what we can do to be better parents for them.
Mm-hmm.
What expectations they have. So, giving them that open line for communication and giving them the compliment that they're mature enough to sit down with us and articulate that.
Right.
We learn that family congruency, that togetherness, we learn it all together.
Yeah. I mean, I for me specifically, I would say the intricacies of the female reproductive system. Kind of learned together, with the eldest, of course. After that, it's more so teaching the second and third girl. But the eldest, the intricacies, I was very engulfed in, finding out some stuff and really learning. So, being able to teach that first female, all of that, it made it easier for the second one and the third one.
Nice.
It wasn't a struggle at all. It's like, listen, this is what it is. Truth. That's how you give it to them.
How do you feel when, see, you said a big, not a big word, but a word that made sense, like making sure that they're mature enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
When in your mind as a parent, is that decision made? Is like, okay, I feel like they're mature enough to do X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? Like
They start coming in the door. When A's start coming in the door, and more A's, and more A's. And academically, you understand that retaining information, following instruction, regurgitating when needed, you understand a lot of things. If you could get an A in a class, that means you showed up, you paid attention, you absorbed the information, you regurgitated when needed, and it was acceptable and even over acceptable. All of these things matter. And when them National Honor Society books start coming in, and you getting awards for this and medals for that, and you understand shit. Yes, don't tell me you don't understand what's going on. You're a smart person. Right. And every time I say you smart and you pretty, you say thank you, daddy. Thank you, daddy. Thank you, daddy. Don't get stupid now. Right. When it's time to have some responsibility, when it's time to have goals and plans and be aware of your surroundings and hold yourself accountable, and you still smart. Let's not stop operating on that. And that's where, again, birthday gifts, all these things in our house, this shit matters. You're not taking no gift from me as no 12-year-old and still acting 11. You just not. What do that mean? Whatever the fuck you was doing when you was 11. If you was throwing tantrums when you was 11, when you was falling out and kicking on the floor when you was 11, you cannot do that now that you're 12. You took my gift.
Right.
You was loving all of that, the candles and all that. Yeah, I'll take it. This is an agreement. Contract. Growth, maturity, getting older, age. That's why we tell everybody it's not everybody's birthday. I got a house full of girls. They used to all want stuff.
Grandparents start that crap.
Oh, it's her birthday. Get everybody something. No, we will not. It's her birthday. We celebrate her today. We celebrate them on their birthday. And these little things, we got to bring them to reality. You ain't no princess. It ain't because of what you say. It ain't. It's not all of that. You my princess, but when you leave across that threshold, you another motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these things are reality, Ars, and this is what I've added to the recipe. Re-fucking-ality. Because it's gonna be a lot of fantasy, it's gonna be a lot of Barbie, it's gonna be a lot going on in your world. And I'm the one that gotta be like, nah, baby girl, shit is real. They gonna wanna fuck you. They're gonna tell you anything.
Manipulate.
Nah, my pops told me that, nigga. Fuck out of here with that shit.
Out of here, right? I've heard that.
Don't say that shit. So that's all we can do. Mrs. Harris, you want to add anything to that?
The maturity. A mom. Conversations and dialogue start from in the belly. So there's always been conversations now, whether it's Barney-like in the early stages, so even like now, having a conversation with mommy today about giving more dialogue to Madison about practicing Ramadan, and her understanding, how this month daddy has to move, she can understand a little bit more now. But, she took it as me saying, like, you really think she's going to be able to get it? But Ma, this is something that I talked about her all the time. It's not just now, we've learned some Arabic phrases and such, throughout the year and over the years. So it's just now she's really learning to understand. She understands the eating habits and him having to go all day, how it's going to stress his body. She can comprehend a little bit more now. And we putting her on a regimen. She can't watch no TV till after the sun go down.
Goddamn right.
So you do her regular school stuff. She has to do some online work, but she's gonna have to regulate that for the 30 days too.
That's right. No
honor as well.
And look, 30 days, it might be a habit.
And she was sitting there waiting for that sun to come. Like,
but who knows, on day 24, day 25, let's see how she's reacting and if she's looking for the sun. So she could turn that TV on, or she might not even care.
They understand more than we think. We just got to talk to them.
We do. Shout out to Jerome on the check-in. My brother is here. I hope all is well.
Welcome.
Peace to you, my said, peace, king and queen. He said he could chime in on this one. He said, oh, I can chime in on this. I got 4. All H. Talk about it, my brother. Talk about it. Since you're here and Karma is here, she said, peace to the gods and the earth. Our sister is here.
Birthday coming up. Pisces season.
Sis Blaze suggested a song for us to listen to with your friends on there. Karma Coleone is really close friends with Smith and Wesson. Wesson and Smith. Shout out to Tech. Shout out to Steel. But he said, let's listen to Brooklyn. Or Brooklyn. By Master Ace, Marco Polo, and Smith and Wesson, also known as the Cocoa Brothers.
My girls just love them.
Smoky Lot. You should have told me. I can introduce her to him. Remember, I took you to the sports bar and they in there. Get me out this gangster ass place. Who is these people in here? And
yeah, be shook.
Me
like,
out of here. Girl, the shooters are the shooters be up in there.
You know, when I told my mama where I was, she was like, "Oh Lord, that's where he lives."
It be some boy, oh boy, man. The ghetto superstars, man. They be in the
growing
building.
Up Bed-Stuy, baby. Them 70s. Ooh, child.
Shout out to the sports bar on Marcus Garvey, man. That was the days, man. Shout out to the 90s. Oh, remember the sports bar on Marcus Garvey, baby? Remember Doughboy Sports Bar, man? Talk about it. Shout out to Doughboy. Shout out to everybody flying our way, man. Oh, you was from a block, man.
You was taking me places.
Your block
You
was
was taking me places.
Nobody wants to come on my block, son. You might get shot.
Ain't nobody just mosey on your block like
it ain't going down.
Go over there? Nah, you ain't doing that. Shout out to Bed-Stuy. Shout out to Chick May. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to 30 Gold. Shout out to the days, man. Those was the days, man. It was what it was, man.
30 Gold. Microphone.
Talk about it. Shout out to Microphone. Talk about it.
Big brother.
Y'all had a similar radio, Raheem.
Yeah, it was crazy. But we can show y'all. We can prove it. We can prove it. We can prove it. Want to prove it?
Oh my goodness. Let's go.
I need him to talk. What you say, Rock? Y'all know who this is.
Before we see, there have already been thousands of beautiful, gifted kids whose lives are over. There will be no future for them, no tomorrow. All their great potential is wasted forever. These are our own kids killing each other. Our own kids are doing what 300 years of slavery couldn't do, what the Ku Klux Klan couldn't do, and what all the ugly racism we faced for generations couldn't do. They're threatening our spirit, breaking our hearts, and destroying us from within. Now, Martin Luther King didn't die for that. Not to see our own children threatening the survival of our people. Malcolm X didn't die for that. Now, I know how hard it is out there. I know how hopeless it feels, the epidemic of drugs, the lack of jobs, the deprivation and killing in our community, and it seems like almost nothing is being done about it. I know that. But killing ourselves is not the answer. And parents, we must take responsibility. You know, we have to take our children back and gain control. It is our individual responsibility to do this, to get our children back. We cannot let this slaughter continue.
Years ago, he said the same exact thing. That police officer stood in front of us and said in 2024, parents have to be responsible for their children. It is up to us as parents to be conscious, to want to raise these kids to do different, to do better, to be different, to be better. Rest in peace to the boss, yo. Rest in peace to boss.
Peace to the queen. She said them hoes.
Rest in peace, yo. You gotta let a hoe be a hoe. You gotta let a hoe be a hoe.
That's right.
But I was in love with this girl. I was in love with this girl.
Yeah.
That album, first woman on, I believe it was Def Jam West. But fire. She has some fire on there. But look, that's Nikki right there. That's Nikki right there. Carhartt suit and everything when I met her. Carhartt and everything.
Yes. Compass, all that. Boots, mountain gear, cornrows.
But rest in peace to her, man. Yeah. That was surprising to hear this morning. I didn't even think it was real. So that's why I had to stop in the middle of everything and jump on that, because it just, dawned on me and I seen it in the feed. But we do want our kids to be better, to be different. But we have to instill that. We have to model that. That's why I'm asking these questions that I'm asking, playing these videos that I'm playing. But whether it's 2024 or 1984, the solution is the same. We as parents need to understand that it is our job to raise these kids to be better.
And responsibility.
Let me ask you guys a question. In what ways do you foster empathy and compassion in your child towards themselves and others? Oz, you want to go first? Want me to go first?
I'm walking the dog.
Okay, I'm going first. Rest in peace to the boss. A boss, me, man. That album was something, man. Rest in peace, boss. Things have changed, but unfortunately, more has remained the same.
Yeah, that's history.
Like those hands-off parents. Rock
has always been hidden gems. I'll always love that show. Shout out to Charles S. Dutton. One of the beautiful things about living here in Baltimore is we watch it every day.
What, Rock?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a Baltimore show.
Yeah.
So,
Baltimore based, but yeah.
Absolutely. Baltimore based.
It's crazy. Some of the scenes in the his
introduction
absolutely. Video, those places still
look similar.
The same.
Still look similar. It is unique. But ways that we foster empathy and compassion in our children towards themselves and others is, the family rules. Of course, we have, do's and don'ts about respect for each other in this house, and especially how we're going to, behave towards each other in this house because we share the same last name. But, donating to thrift, donating to Salvation Army, always giving to less fortunate, always willing to help out the drives.
Modeling the behavior.
We have the kids on hand, filling bags and doing chores, and they're always noticing and being a part of what we try to do for other people, and seeing that it's always about whatever you can't use, you can put out for somebody else. You can always go to the thrift store to find something if you need it and you can't afford it at a regular store. All of these realistic,
one man's trash can be one man's treasure.
These things we try to instill in them to, foster these things, empathy, compassion.
And most of it is modeling us, how we behave with each other. As a husband and wife, us being able to say please and thank you, and, consider each other and have our uproars and be able to de-escalate and come back to it, and things are back to normal, like all of that. Showing grace for each other. And I would say for me, having that open dialogue for me as a girl growing into a woman, explaining to them that I am flawed, and I've had to grow in this relationship, because they'll point out daddy. I think girls learn to hone in on what daddy's not doing. So it was my job to express to them all of what he does. Just because they don't see it doesn't mean it's not being done. Like I had girls, they had questions. They want to know, mommy, you good? So being able to build on that, I think that's a main reason. Me as the woman, if you're an unhappy woman, you're going to raise an unhappy daughter. So I needed to, express to them, where I'm at in life, and be honest. Don't blame other people, my childhood, my mother, my father, like that open transparency with those girls, them not even being able to understand how empathetic and sympathetic I was for my father, right? Like, so even talking to them through that, because they couldn't understand it.
I see sis over there. Hey, sis. How you doing?
Hey, pretty lady.
Beautiful people, how we doing? Really good.
Doing well. Doing well.
Trying to talk about these kids.
Having a conscious parenting discussion, Q&A today. So any questions, we are fielding those, and we have questions for our chatters.
Yes.
And right now we are rolling into this one about fostering empathy and compassion in our children. And like we said, we try to, have them donate to charity and help out when necessary to show them that it's always somebody less fortunate, and we can always help out in some shape, form, or fashion. What do you think about that, sis?
I think that's really important, just to show, like you said, your compassion for others. I always say that it's most important to lead with compassion in everything you do. Someone needs you, someone needs your hand, and showing that to your children and showing them how to do that and be that way for others. It opens up more within them as well. I think that is so important. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And the curse that comes with that gift is that's why I can be so passionate about my soapboxes when I stand on them, because again, when I look in the mirror, I know the work I put in. I know the people that I care for, and the things that I try to do for people that are other than myself. So when I stand on my box and do my soliloquies, it's coming from the same exuberance and the same passion that I would be helping another person, and I just pour it in that way. But I want to play a video. I'm glad you're here, sis. I want you to check this video out, you and the missus, and let me know what y'all. Let me move this chat away. Where's that chat? Let me move that. Bam. Think.
Up to thrive. Do you guys know the number one outcome or the number one indicator for how children grow up to thrive?
Do you guys know the number one indicator of how children grow up to thrive?
Do you guys know the number one outcome or the number one indicator for how children grow up to thrive, whether or not they actually do?
I thought it was the daddy in the house.
Absolutely not.
What's
Believe
that?
it or not, it is the quality of their mother's happiness.
Wow.
Damn.
The quality of their mother's happiness is the number one indicator as to whether or not a child will grow up to thrive. Because if you have a depressed mother, if you have an anxious mother, if you have a mother with post-traumatic stress disorder who is having to disconnect from her own body, she cannot show up to nurture you. She cannot show up to support you. She cannot fully step into that space. And what she will teach you about being in relationships with other people, whether you can trust them, whether you can trust yourself, whether you can actually be committed and connected to somebody and know that they will reciprocate that to you in a healthy way. She teaches you that not through her words, but through her actions. And so what I will say to you, sis, is that you have to decide for yourself how you want your children not to just grow up in your house, but to grow up in this world.
That's good right there.
What do you ladies think? Mrs. Harris, let's start with you.
Shit, I don't know if you want to start with me.
Yes, let's start with you. Save the conversation, sis. Let's start with you.
I agree with that to an extent. I know growing up in my house, mom and dad weren't always on the same page, and mom may not have always been happy a lot of the times, but I also learned from her of her strength and how she persevered through all of that. So it may not have, her happiness through her relationship with my dad, but it was her really gaining strength for herself to be happy, to change her the perspective of her situation with my dad. And we traveled and we did different things that allowed her to heal from that. And that's where I learned my own personal ability to thrive and be successful through her ability to, through all of that. So for sure, different avenues, but I do think that part is, when she said how we thrive is by seeing how mom is loved in the home. I think that it could be, how she loves herself too, and how up to her children as well.
Understandable.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I got from it. Happiness is self driven. Like I cannot come into the relationship with my happiness in my husband's hand, because it'll come to a point where he closes his hand and then what?
Damn.
Right.
So I think a lot of women took from that, my happiness is more important than anybody else's. So when I'm down or I'm in an emotional uproar, it's on my husband to make me happy. When that's not what she's saying, that you're doing something to make me unhappy. That happiness needs to be within self. We need to be in the happiness of being here right now when it comes to these children, and understanding and respecting that this is what you got to do. Because that sadness is gonna come, and it shouldn't have much to do with them. Sometimes we do a lot of the blaming and the picking of somebody else not doing something when you're already sabotaged because you have no self-happiness.
Yeah.
But nothing you can do is going to satisfy me because I'm already unhappy. A lot of people now are unhappy because of whatever childhood issues, things you saw, things you couldn't comprehend or whatever, and you take it into your adulthood, and now we're just moving in all kinds of selfishness. It's about me and my happiness.
Yeah.
But I got to learn to make myself happy. Like you said, that self-reflecting and watching your mother go through that, you learned that I got to be happy first, because, again, if he's unhappy, now he's making you unhappy, and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
What do you think? What y'all thought
Mona's
about
here.
that?
Shout out to Mona. Hey, Mona, what up, sis? Hope all is well. That's one of my favorite shows. It's talking about rock. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Blaze checked in. He said the greatest gift you can give to a person is your time. Again, I have to give my grandfather credit. We collected canned goods throughout the year and donated them to various shelters. I heard what she said in that video. What was crazy to me is when he said the father being in the home, she said no. That's crazy to me. Because if the mother's happiness is operative, the dad loving up on her, like he posed the love up on her, that's opportunistic. Now it's not a necessity. But to negate it, like dad not loving up on mom isn't the best thing, because that was my answer from the first day stepping into this space. The best thing that I can give my kids is loving up on their mama.
Yeah. It's a part of the happiness, absolutely. But even with that, that's why I said the happiness needs to come first. I need to absolutely be happy with myself, because if I have to depend on you for all of my happiness, in those sad times, that'll be a struggle for a woman. Yeah,
I absolutely agree, but that I ain't got nothing to do with that. All I got to do to worry about is loving up on you. All of that happiness and all of that, that's on you. I don't even know why she started telling me.
You better like this,
sis. Why she started telling me about all of that? That's not on me.
So I think I see that and watch the comments, and the ladies, man, it's pretty self-centered, and it's all about, the man not taking care of them, and it's It's again.
Okay. So what do you think? What did you hear, sir, when she said that, you know, mom's being loved up on and her happiness is very important for the development of a child?
I agree with that 100%. You know, I may have not always practiced that younger, but as a mature adult, which I define myself as older and more mature adult, yeah, it's very important. Like when the kids come here or Mir is out or whatever, it's like, hey, this is my boo. So love it or leave it the fuck alone.
Right. Well, in the first video today, I showed a very conscious parent. She came home, the kids cooked her salmon, sis, left the kitchen in disarray. Big salmon on the plate still. She had to clean the kitchen, prepare dinner for her husband, and this grown man think he gonna get some. She said, no, you will not. You can get in your car and go to the store. But there's another side of the spectrum to conscious parenting. There's unconscious parents, and unfortunately, we're gonna have to take a look at this.
Okay. Let me tell me. He know this boy can't drive. Oh my God. What is you? Oh my God. What is you? He had that boy drive. Going to goddamn jail. I want to jail. Hey, I want to jail. Hey, officer. I want to jail. I want to jail, officer. I want to jail.
Light skinned male, gray jogging pants, black and red shoes.
I want to jail. Yes, boy.
Oh, jeez.
You coming to get me? I'm going to jail. How long am I going to be in there for? Officer, how long am I going to be in there for?
I want to stop the video right there. As you guys see, you know, that was an 8-year-old that, you know, like the caption said, was attempting to steal a car. The police came and apprehended him, and now they're getting ready, I guess, to, you know, maybe walk him to the car, maybe give him a conversation. We don't know exactly where it's going just yet. But what stood out to me is the combination of events that's happening. The police show up. He's unaware that he's even going to jail. Am I going to jail? Am I going to jail? Persistent in needing to have this question answered. There's no control there. Then I hear mom in the back say, you goddamn right you're going to jail, or hell yeah, or whatever grandma said first. And then mama's like, hell yeah, you going to jail. And he wants to know, are you coming to get me? Just the normalization of incarceration, dealing with authority. Hell yeah, you going to jail. Even though we sent you out to steal to get some food for the house. If you get caught, it's on you, little nigga. Yeah, you going to goddamn jail. You coming to get me? No. You coming to get me? But again, just needing to know, he doesn't even understand the process of the law. Right. How it's, you should be remaining silent right now. And again, if we're going to indulge in this type of lifestyle, at least we got to give them the consciousness to know, shut the fuck up till I come. So for me, it's just the confusion, the dysfunction, the immaturity of everybody. And we got little goddamn doughboy getting ready to go to jail. He don't even understand jail. He about to go
in there.
Nigga said, I ain't got no money. I'm still going.
But including the officers, because you are putting handcuffs on an 8-year-old. You can say you are under arrest for stealing a car. You have the right to same rule. You know, there was no as far as law goes, you know, I don't care if you don't think that child still deserves his rights to be read to him. Once they put them cuffs on, I don't care if y'all gonna go over there and talk it over or smooth it out, whatever the case may be. Read him his rights. He should not be in that much anxiety of not knowing what's about to happen. Yeah, you're going to jail and possibly your mother or somebody can come pick you up. But this is the consequences of the behavior that you just exhibited. You don't have a license. You're not grown. You shouldn't be driving. not saying anything. Like, so we're just lacking giving any of these kids any kind of information. Everybody, like you said, everybody immature.
It's crazy. What do you guys think? What
Somebody
did y'all
walking
see
by
so
talking
far?
about you going to jail.
If this was their effort of having tough love and trying to teach him a lesson on what not to do, I think that, you know, this was pretty much an extreme to, you know, have him go through all that without it really being, you know, explained to him, because now he's really going to be fearful of the police, which is, you know, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but it's still an issue, you know, that we already deal with on a daily basis, you know. But if this is their tough love example, you know, to scare him to think that he's going to jail, but he's not, you know, that I think it was extreme, you know.
I wouldn't disagree. Look what Donique said. He want to know if he gonna be home in time enough to play Roblox.
I was about to say the same fucking thing. Like Shorty said, he's not crying. He's not doing nothing. He's like, "Are you coming to get me?"
Right. How long am I gonna be in? What?
I mean,
so it's like he don't seem to really fucking care. Are you coming to get me? Was his last words? Are you
He's
like
8.
right?
I
He's
don't think you really understand what's transpiring. I think we lack.
I would say
giving these kids a lot of information that they need. Like we were playing in the arcades at 8. We knew how to drive a car. I think we all knew stealing is wrong. You're not an adult and you can't drive. Like, so, you know, it's a lack of dialogue that's going on. And for us to keep saying, you know, these kids don't know no better. We kind of do. If we train them up, like we say it was wrong for how we grew up, not having, you know, the parents as cushiony as the kids have it now. Because even though they wasn't present, you know, when they were around, they were given direction. There was boundaries. There was some laws. Some shit was solidified. You know, this is why we didn't burn down the house. And, you know, because things was told. We knew what it was. You know, there wasn't no pandering and coddling. But, you know, we have kids who went through 20 years of school and they never had to get on a school bus. They get picked up and dropped off. You know what I mean? They have access to everything. Like, so he doesn't. This one here, yeah, no, they don't understand because we ain't teaching them shit. Like you said, he want to play Roblox. He has no clue that he probably committed a crime, you know? But that's our fault. That's not society's fault. That's not the police fault. That's our fault as parents. They need to know all this stuff, and we're lacking that. So now we got an 8-year-old going to town. He big as hell, too. Drive that car.
Oh, that's what you got, brother.
Like I said, the one thing that stood out for me is I don't really hear him crying. I hear him
no remorse.
I hear him saying, "Are you coming to get me?"
This is what I'm on.
You're right. Like, okay, I'll sit here for 9-10 hours, but I'm gonna know. Are you coming to get me?
How many kids grow up in a house where parents threaten? You know, they use the police as like the boogeyman. You know, if you don't behave, I'm going to call the police on you. If you don't do this, so they already create this dynamic with these kids about the police, especially little boys. I hear parents tell a kid real quick, gonna call the police on you, the little boys. So they grow up with this fear of that. Goodness gracious.
You gonna get it? I'm going to jail. How long gonna be in there for?
How long gonna be in there for?
Officer, how long gonna be in there for? How long gonna be in there for?
No business.
Officer, can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? Officer, he had it. He wanted me to drive it. He made me drive it. He made me drive it.
Who made you drive
it? He made me drive it.
Come through a back fence.
Officer, he made me drive it. He made me drive it. That's the only reason I was driving. He made me drive it. He made me drive it.
Okay. You were driving there?
Yeah.
Yes, he made me.
Okay, hold on. Hey, listen, you're not gonna try to run or anything, all right? All right.
Did he try to run, or was the other guy? The other guy ran. Passenger hopped out. You're fine. Have a seat.
You're not okay?
You're
shaking.
I mean, they went like at least. Did he crash? Well, I did this. He left it moving. Come here, man.
I can't see. What the I can see. He's not scared though. Like he is not scared.
He's probably used to this situation.
8 years old, I'd have been crying like a bitch.
Right.
Wait a minute. Like, what the fuck? Where am I going? Fuck what I can get out. How can I not go? Like, I'd have been scared as hell. He's not even scared. He's just like, okay, when can I get out? Mama,
right.
I'd have been bawling my fucking eyes out.
That's what happens, right?
To this car.
It's not his first
And
run.
he's 8. That nigga look 30.
Right? He look like he about 13. Showing you.
Motherfucker muscles bigger than mine. You see this nigga back arm? This nigga is strong, and he's just like, when am I getting out? When you coming
But
to get
already
me?
got accountability.
Dude, I'd have been past the fuck out.
Somebody else told me to do it, and
right, like damn, and he's 8. That nigga back look every bit of 35. Just back.
Got 8 cops around him,
and he's not even scared. He's like, when you coming to get me? You'd have to drag my black ass out.
No, that was unique. Like I said, just a lot going on, and like Sis pointed out, the lack of remorse, the lack, it's kind of, it's disheartening because we have so much more obligation as parents to put a little bit more into these children, because they're not going to always be children, and like you see, some people are using these children in nefarious areas, operating in adult-like behavior. So we got to give them the knowledge to value themselves, to know that that's not the only option they have, that they deserve adults that are going to pour into them and help them thrive. And I know we have a unique approach in how we articulate and curate our forums, but our concern is for children to grow up to be adults, and not just adults, but adults that contribute to society versus take away.
I can tell you one thing. At the end of the day, the closer he got to that cop car, that Darwinism, survival of the fittest, came out. He made me drive it.
Right.
All day.
Save yourself.
And this is, like you want to give the kid explanation, and sometimes cops got to be cops, babe. They got to let you going to start spilling the beans. You just got to walk you to the car. And again, they usually sit you in the back of the car and tell you got the right to remain silent, yada, or they may even get to the precinct and do that. That's not something they have to do immediately. They have the right to delegate. Situation could be tumultuous, could have cantankerous women in the back, could have a little kid questioning me constantly. All of these things come into play. So they can use at their discretion to say, now you can have your phone call and get your rights read, and you can get your lawyer, but you did a lot of talking.
Right.
Yeah, spilling the beans, huh?
And again, this is not just him, just an 8-year-old. I see 8, 18, 28, 38, 48, all of them running their mouth when the police come. They say you have the right to remain silent for a reason. Nothing you say is going to get those cuffs taken off of you.
Right.
Nothing you say is going to not get you put in the back of that car. And the only person that can speak for you is your lawyer, and the only person he can speak to is a judge.
Kids is going to jail.
But this is the world we live in, where everybody think, let me just speak to somebody. Let me just speak to him. Let me just speak to the cop. Let me just talk. Let me just talk. Let me just tell some lies and play victim and manipulate your feelings. And at the end of my story, you going to see it my way.
That's the hope.
But I do think when somebody starts to talk, I feel like that's when their Miranda rights should be read. That's just my own personal friend. If you start to blab, it's like, hey, you have the right, because once you're in handcuffs, it's a 90% chance that they're not coming the fuck off. That's when your Miranda rights need to be read to you. So if you in handcuffs and you start to say, well, blah, 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 I feel like, in my opinion, that's when, hey, you have the right to silent, you have the right.
That's respectable. Cops have been told to do that because in some cases it'll be thrown out because they didn't read those rights.
Understandable.
You know, so yeah.
Sis, what you got, sis?
They gotta watch it.
Hey, listen, I don't know. It's just all crazy. I don't know.
Here's what I got. Don't worry about it, sis. I got you. You knew the name of them shits. You called them Miranda rights. If you know the name of them, you know you got them, sir. How about shut up? You shouldn't have to start talking for me to remind you that you got something that you know the name of.
Dude, I've been arrested multiple times. Nothing. You ain't got to read my rights, nigga. I know.
You're right. It's not your first rodeo. But again, you know how many grown-ups start blabbing their mouth? They watch Law and Order Oz. They watch Amsterdam.
Right.
They watch 911. They watch 911 Lone Star. They watch Hill Street Blues.
Hill Street Blues.
Law and Order been on as long as I've been. Right. It's always a cop show, and they all say you have the right to.
You don't need to say nothing to them.
Right, cops.
Don't say nothing to them people, man. They not on your side. This was fun. This was fun, y'all. I appreciate y'all. This your beautiful face popping in was a pleasant surprise. But what we do now is we give you guys the solo screen so they can see your McMansion, McDowell's. Y'all got the McDowell's fries over there. And tell the people your final thoughts for the evening and leave them with any words of inspiration, any words of kindness, whatever y'all want to do. Family motto, whatever you want to do. Bank account, you can send me your account number.
It says Mrs. Jones is king.
I just want to say it's always a pleasure to get in this room with you all and just share some wisdom and receive some wisdom and all that good stuff. This is, I appreciate the conversation about parenting because I know we are working through some things as parents, co-parents, and just being able to learn and listen to you guys is always a gift. So I thank y'all for that.
We thank you. We thank you. Any help we can be, you just let us know. We are a phone call away. And we planning on coming to see you guys soon. We just trying to iron out some family stuff, but we getting ready the weather's breaking. We'll be making our rounds and we look forward to spending some time with you guys. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all so much. You guys are inspirational. Osh, you my brother. Keep doing what you do, man. You're a great dad, great brother, great friend, great cousin, great uncle, great uncle.
Yes.
Facts. And so y'all have an amazing week. And we're going to tell y'all, like we tell everybody, do something good for somebody other than yourself. That's when real character shines.
We appreciate it.
We love y'all.
Love
everybody
you.
have an amazing rest of y'all week. Y'all know how we get down. I may be here Saturday, might not. I got some things going on in the background, family things, business things. It's all happening.
Ramadan.
The missus may be here. Possibly. It depends, but the sun will be down. Nothing will happen while the sun is up. It will be nothing but positive information because in April, I'm coming back. Pause.
I learned to control myself.
But for these 30 days, it will be nothing but positivity and enlightenment. Us, give them some parting words, my brother. We got to hear your voice, man.
Lay off the meaty gravy.
Here first.
That was Martin. Lay off the meaty gravy.
Stop with the meaty gravy.
Yo. Shit. Wow. Son.
Whew. My nigga, wow. Really though, like, shit. Fuck. Shit is, wow. Fucking unbelievable. Oh no. There they go. Yeah.
Shout out to New York City, man. Y'all know how we get down. Those are the Joneses. We are the Harrises, and we.
This nigga got the, what they name, the X-Files? What's the name?
The X-Clan. You call them the X-Files. That's Scully.
I know, I'm just bullshit.
Scully!
Love y'all. My
brother don't eat no noodles. Me and my brother, we eat no noodles.
Boys don't eat that.
Why?
Boys don't eat. I don't eat noodles. I'm a grown man. Grown man.
I know that. Right. Except
y'all
spaghetti.
have a great night. We appreciate each and every last one of y'all, man. Y'all check us out. We out here on these YouTube streets 3 days a week. I'm Mr. He Said. That's Mrs. She Said. Together we are He Said, She Said, Love and Abundance. Check us out, man. We unbreakable, man.